So the motion for the debate is, as it's often say, does Brazil have the right to sell off its rainforest? Our question is, why would they want to sell off the rainforest? So I want you to think of as many values of the rainforest as you possibly can, and one value per post-it. And if there's repetition, that doesn't matter. So these are your own ideas. It doesn't matter if anyone else has already come up with it. Okay? The rainforest itself.
To make sure it looks good. He's going to say, oh, that money goes back to the rainforest.
Poaching is the biggest cause of deforestation.
Biodiversity.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact statistic, but apparently we only know about 20% of species.
So by minerals, I'm going to hand out the character cards, which represent the viewpoints for the debate. The next step will be that you are going to develop a 2-minute sort of speech argument for your cause.
So these are the characters out of the book. It's just kind of a bit of fun, warming up.
One of you to
It could be. I don't know if I can say
an example.
But just saying,
do you fancy Carmen? Yes, you're Braga, right? Yeah. So that's
Hey, so you're not Carmen? No. Yeah.
You should always start with a premise, so something that is very difficult for anyone else to argue with, like saying killing people is a bad idea, like something that's like reasonably undebatable. So you start with a premise, and then you have a series of lines of analysis before you get to a conclusion. And the conclusion is a thing that if you prove that, and if that stands at the end of the debate, then you win.
Very often the people who win debates are the people who themselves can think outside of the book and not just think of the most obvious argument, but actually the argument that seriously affects people. And I think part of what you're trying to do in a debate is work out who is the most important person, who is the person that you really want to focus on. And actually, if it can be proved that that one person or that one minority group is affected in such a bad way that all of the benefits that might be had to different groups, perhaps more powerful groups, are completely useless.
The topic of our debate is the right by Brazil versus the right by the world, in reference to the ownership and protection of the Amazon rainforest. As I'm sure you're all aware, the resources that are provided by the rainforest in modern day society are seen as essential. If they weren't, this debate wouldn't be happening. However, the impacts this has on the environment, the climate, the economy, the civil societies within Brazil must be equally, if not more essential than the resources themselves. As you can tell, this creates a conflict, and so the question arises, how do we supply both without hindering one or the other?
Does Brazil, as a sovereign state, have the right to sell off its own rainforest? No, it doesn't. In today's world, every piece of land is forced to be owned by an owner. However, this system doesn't always work, and arguably never has.
We must ask ourselves a question. Can we really allow the Amazon rainforest to come under private ownership, where it's solely owned by one person or one company who can control the whole Amazon rainforest?
For too long we have been excluded from the profits of others, reaping benefits from our own land. Now it is Brazil's turn, and we will not be denied our right to growth and our right to what is the heart of our homeland. The Amazon belongs to us, just as Brazil belongs to the Amazon.
The government has reserved 13% of its land to the indigenous population, 98.5% of which lies in the Amazon rainforest. If ownership of the Amazon rainforest was given to the world, then the Brazilian Indians would have their homes snatched away from them, and they would rapidly become extinct, as history has taught us. Without these tribes, there would be no Brazil.
With 137 rainforest species exterminated every day, soon enough the loss will mean catastrophic effects to humans. What if the cure for cancer was in one of those plants that was extinct, and we lose that forever, without ever even knowing it was there? It could be gone already. The unknown value of the rainforest is exactly why it should never be sold. We do not need to sell it, we need to protect it. Protection of the rainforest will ensure its preservation, and it is imperative that we do so.
What you are arguing for is the access to these resources for free by removing our right to sell, which would write us off for good. It is possible to achieve many of the aims which you are arguing give you rights over us, whilst keeping the Amazon within our control and our discretion. It is a closed-minded and hypocritical view that we are not thinking in the best interest of the world, coming from countries who destroy their own forests and exploit resources for their own gain already, yet shudder at the thought of us moving forward on the road to economic stability with our own resources, simply to preserve your construct of what the forest is to you. Without the Amazon, we are not Brazil.
You and every other person on this planet's lives rely on this rainforest. It's one of the largest carbon sinks, as you've been told. It produces 20% of the world's oxygen. And cutting it down would cause catastrophes across the entire globe. There will be more tornadoes and stronger ones, more thunderstorms, record-breaking heat waves every year, and worse droughts. We are all responsible for protecting this rainforest. And we cannot allow Brazil to sell off land, which is also selling off our lives.
The forest that is being chopped down will take 4,000 years to grow back, and the species that are extinct never will grow back. Can we really afford to let this amazing resource be wasted by owners who will not know its true value? The rainforest needs to be protected and kept safe, and in return it will help us. And this is why we believe that Brazil, as a sovereign state, does not have the right to sell off the Amazon rainforest.
Declares a win for the opposition. Congratulations.